Greetings hobbyists, this is Artisans of Vool. And in this video we're setting up an object so you can create panel lines insanely fast, including around corners and over already existing panel lines, all the while maintaining clean geometry. So all of this starts with initially a plane, so I'm just going to talk about this first and then we're going to change it up a bit. Then we're going to go into edit mode, Control and E, and we're going to subdivide this a load so we've got a load of edges to create our shapes onto. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into edge mode and select some of the edges. Let's just do something like that. And we're going to Control E and we're going to mark them sharp. Now, what this is going to allow us to do is add a series of modifiers that are going to create this effect. So we're going to come to our modifiers, add modifier, we're going to go to split edge, and we're going to do that. Then once we've done that, we're going to Shift A and we're going to solidify, and then we can do that whatever thickness that we want. And then we're just going to add in one final modifier, which is a bevel modifier. So let's put that in there. And then we've got this working out really nicely, and we can change the amount of segments if we choose to. And from this point, we can select some other edges. And then once again, Alt and E, mark sharp, and it's had exactly the same effect. Now, before we go any further, this technique has been entirely, up to this point, copied from Blender Secrets. He had a short for this on Instagram, I'll link it in the description. All credit for this goes to him, and I've just taken it a little bit further. That is not to say that there is a problem or issue with this setup, but it's just that I've got some specific uses for this, and I wanted to make this work not just on planes, but on solid objects, and to do that, there's a few tricks that we need. So no criticism of that short, that's exactly what shorts are there for, to get people thinking about things, and hopefully is fine with me taking this a little bit further. So let's go into a new file and talk through what I've added to this, because I wanted this to work on 3D objects, not just a plane. So we're going to tab and then subdivide this, and I'll rack this up to 10. Then we're going to add a modifier, and we want an edge split modifier, and let's just quickly explain what this does. This allows me to select edges, let's just go here, and specifically split this object into parts. So this works in two ways. The first way is it works off of the angle edge. So any angle that's over 30 degrees will get split, and anything we mark sharp will get split as well. Now obviously I don't want this splitting this into lots and lots of bits, basically every major side. I only want this working off the sharp edges, so we can just tick that so that it's off. Control E and then mark sharp, and that's now working. Now to give you an idea of what that has actually done is it is splitting this into an entirely new part. So if I apply this and come into edit mode and come here and hit L, you can see that this has actually split it into two separate pieces. So that's the way that works. I'm just going to undo until we've got that back. Then we need to add our thickness. So let's add in our solidify, and we'll up this to being positive, and we'll up this. Now this is going to have a problem on a 3D object in that it starts bending everything. So we need to go to even thickness. That's the first change that we need to make. And then it's got another problem, which as soon as we go into X-ray mode, we can see, and that is that this has, well, added in a solid face on all of the surfaces, and that means that this is now hollow in the middle. You definitely don't want that when 3D printing. It's going to add a load of resin in the middle, but even if you're not 3D printing, this is going to cause some issues as we come to the next stage. So let's just Shift A, and then we're going to add in our bevel modifier, bring in our bevel, and we get our bevel here. Now we can keep this as 1 if we want this to be relatively sharp, or we can up it to somewhere there. And I would strongly recommend changing this geometry of having a mitre outer of sharp to have a mitre outer of arc. It just looks way better, though that's entirely up to you, whatever you prefer. Now this again has our X-ray showing that this has got geometry on the inside as well, so this is doing it in both directions, so both on the inside and the out. In fact, if we just try and get inside this object, we can see this. There we go. So you can see it beveling on the inside as well and making the panel lines internally. Now in this instance, that doesn't look too problematic because, well, you can't really see it, but as soon as we come into edit mode and do some overlaps, this is going to look really ugly. Now if I just tab into edit mode, we can't actually see the edges without going into X-ray mode. You can deal with that by coming to our solidify modifier and clicking out on cage, so now it's on the outside. And if I just do, let's say here, Control E and then mark sharp, you can see my problem with doing this, regardless of if you're 3D printing or not. We've got a hole that goes into our object where these overlap. We definitely don't want that. So let's deal with these problems one at a time, but before I deal with that, my biggest issue that I had was that this bevel is working everywhere. And I don't want these edges to be beveled, I want these to be sharp. So let's come into our bevel modifier and start looking at that to begin with. So the easiest way to manage that is to stop this working on every single angle that there is, and this is currently set to 30. So I thought, well, let's just change this to weight, and this is now going to work nowhere except for I can come in and trace over the edges that were sharp, and then Control and E, and then edge bevel weight, drag that up, or you can press N, let's just go up to where the item is, and change that bevel weight to 1, and then that's working. This seems like a faff. I don't want to have to go in and do every single edge twice. That is just doubling my work, well, at least adding in a load more clicks. I want this to work off of the fact that it's already been marked sharp. And we can do that. If we come up to here, where we've got the limit method of weight, it says what edge weight to use, and at the moment it's on bevel weight edge. But we can change this. I can hit that cross to get rid of it, and I can type in sharp underscore edge. And now it will work off of sharp edges, and if I tab out of this, you'll see it's now working. So it works now off of anything that's got a sharp edge, and bear in mind that the edge split also works off everything with a sharp edge. We just need to go in and add in any sharp edges, Alt E, and then mark sharp, and now it works. So that solved that problem. We just come to the bevel and change our weight to edge sharp. Now that has another benefit of changing, if you have a look, the way that these edges here are happening, and you don't get this rounded shape. So in theory, this has solved that problem as well. And we can go to 1 or up, and either way it's solving that problem. But I personally still don't like this internal geometry. I think it's going to cause me issues, and I don't want there to be potential problems in the future, especially if I'm starting to boolean things together, which I'm likely to do. So the solution to that and the internal geometry, but I've left it to last in case you just don't care, is Shift and D to make a duplicate cube. Let's escape out of that. We're going to come to that duplicate cube, and we're going to delete all of the modifiers. So now we've got a cube that's inside the other cube. And what we're going to do is add it to this object. But at the moment, the cube's not in the right place. It's just going to leave these voids here where we've got this triangular shape. We need this centered right along the middle, and we can do that relatively easily. Let's just come to this one with our modifiers on it, and if we change the solidify modifier from being at 1 to being at 0, this now is halfway between, because it means we now solidify in both directions. This is exactly what we want. At this point, we can now take this cube, shift click onto our main cube with all our modifiers, Control and plus to boolean it together. Now I've found that an exact sometimes works but can get a bit janky, whereas a manifold generally works better, but you'll have to play around with your shapes as you want. I'm going to hide that, but now if we look in X-ray mode, you can see, oh, look at that lovely clean geometry. Really nice. So this then solves that second issue that we had of the solidify not creating a solid object, and this now becomes perfectly 3D printable with no issues. And we can still come in here, select round, and then mark sharp, and it still works. Now one thing to mention is depending on what add-ons you've got, sometimes they try to be smart and change the order of these. So do make sure that your boolean is last. If you've got hard ops, sometimes it will put it beforehand, and that can cause you some problems. So just make sure it is afterwards. And the last thing to point out is that if we then apply all of our modifiers and go into our object and hit L, you can see that the process of the boolean actually combined everything together. So these objects are no longer separated. They're all the same thing. So again, very nice, very 3D printable. It is going to work. Let's just go back until the point that we've got all of these ready to go. And we can still change, if we want to, our bevel to, let's say, be 1. So we've got this quite sharp, which I don't know which one I like more, but I do quite like these V-shaped bevels. So there we go. What I now think is the easiest way to make panel lines. Oh, and I can't remember if I mentioned it, but you can, if you come to the solidify, if you change the thickness, it does change the size of the panel line. The one thing I will mention, which I haven't been able to get away from, is that this does change the size of the object just because we are thickening it. So do bear that in mind. You kind of want to do this first, then set up the sizes, and then start adding the next objects on. So there is a limit to this, but I think I've taken it as far as I can realistically get. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. If you did, as always, I'd really appreciate you hitting that like button, and although he has vastly more followers than I do, I'm sure it'd be appreciated if you went to the video from Blender Secret and gave that a like as well. Again, there's a link to that in the description, as well as a link to my Patreon, where if you'd like to support the channel further, you get these videos a week ahead of time and ad-free for just a few dollars a month. Hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.